like
now, he not beating my kids, y'all. So let me go ahead and clear that up, because otherwise, Jeff and I, let me tell you something.
What? Hold on. Finish your statement out here. What you trying to say?
So
I'm beating my half of the kids.
You remember that time when he went and he got the belt and stuff out the microwave, beating them kids? No, we ain't doing none of that now. Now I do believe. No, let me say this. Don't be at me talking about what you mean what is that? Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Spare the rod.
I said that. Spare the rod. Spare the rod. Spoil the child. So no. So don't at me.
With Mr. and Mrs. Mr. I also call the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast, depending on who you are. I am your host, Mr. aka Jeffrey Mr. And right beside me is my wife of 15 years, 2 kids.
Mrs. Mr. aka Dana Mr. And together we are the Misters.
Yeah. So, we're talking about today, Lord, how we gonna raise these kids, Lord? How we gonna raise these kids? And you may have felt this way when you left out the hospital, when you see the little bundle of joy.
Oh my goodness. I never forget after we had Malia. I remember it was such an amazing experience in the hospital, and then it was like they only keep you there for 48 hours. Yes. And I remember crying when it was time to go home. I think I was just overwhelmed with emotions. We have went 7 years waiting for this moment, and the moment was here. You're like, oh my goodness, I'm responsible for this beautiful creature.
Yes.
Yes. So but hey, she's 8 now. She's making it. So
yes, she is. She is 8. She's making it. I remember that moment too. And as men, we didn't go through the whole procedural thing. We're just in the sideline, or you in the front, or you behind the tarp, or you whatever. You gotta take it up with God. You know what I'm saying? We doing what we get asked to do. We here doing. If they let us in, I remember taking us back to the thing and asking us like, hey, is it okay for him to be here? That baby's half mine, ma'am. Excuse me, that baby's half mine. I would like my portion of that baby. Yes. If that's the case. And
so how are we gonna raise these kids?
How are we gonna raise these kids, Lord? That's the title. How are we gonna raise these kids, Lord? And so
do you believe it's harder being a parent now or when we were kids? What do you think?
I think it is harder now than it was for our parents. And shout out respectfully to our parents that did a great job, I think, for the most part, for most parents that we have. But I think it's harder raising our kids now because it's so much access to everything. Kids got access to everything,
But is it because we allow children to have access to everything? Because you can take away an iPad and a phone and all of that stuff. You can take that stuff away. Yeah.
We're going to get into all that today. So don't go nowhere. Don't go anywhere. You're listening, you're watching. You just stumbled upon this. You're like, what is this, Mr. and Mrs.? What's this Laugh, Learn, Love? Don't go anywhere. And if you've been listening, watching, like we always say, you've been shacking up with us. You haven't committed to this podcast. You haven't told anybody else about the podcast. You going back and forth like we your little side chick. Let me tell you something. You hit that subscribe button right now and you commit to something. I'm talking to you.
Alrighty. And so, speaking of parents, so do you feel like you are a better parent or worse or equal?
Well, first, hold on. You didn't get Did you give your answer to that?
Well, you were so trying to get to the part about people subscribing and checking
hit that subscribe, hit the notification bell. Tell somebody else about it. We here.
Do I feel like it's harder now? I believe, I think it's hard to say, it's like comparing apples to oranges. I think, there was some things that probably was more challenging for our parents, like, social economics and all of that stuff. They didn't have access to like certain income levels and that sort of thing. Sure. So, I'm sure, look, now trying to provide the basic necessities, lights and water, and that's challenging because that's something that you're supposed to do. Right?
The James off good times. The James off good times.
Right. So that's something that you're supposed to do. So I can't say one season was harder than the other because, like I said, I believe our parents had it just as hard. It was so funny. My mom and I was talking about this, and she was saying, my mom was a single mom for like 12 years. Mm-hmm. And she was like, she came across one of her paychecks, and she was like, "Girl, we were making over $1,000 a month." She was like, "I don't know how we were making it." So I think so I can't necessarily say it's harder now because like there are some yes, our children do have more access to things, mm-hmm. but it's by option.
It's by choice. So
you could take that stuff away. Whereas like from my mom, with her, like her necessity, she had to provide water, lights, food, clothes. That was necessities, right? Gas. You know what I'm saying? So I can't necessarily say one was harder than the other.
I can respect mm-hmm. that. I was saying us. Even though you can take away the things, I think now the access to the way it just goes about. So even if the kids don't have a phone or a tablet or something down, it's the kid down the street or somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like it's more easily accessible than it was before. And you're trying to keep your kids away from.
So basically we just need to ban the internet.
Well, I think possibly.
Al Gore's internet, we need to take it away.
Al Gore won't stop. They say y'all want to win the presidency. He will not stop with this inner wheel. But this inner wheel. Somebody Google Al Gore career. Google it too. But yes, I don't think you can keep it away. I just think you have to be more vigilant with parenting now. And before that, like there were like little Playboy books or something out there, but now it's so many graphic things.
You have to be engaged.
For sure. You got to be a parent. You
have to be an evolved parent. Yeah, you have to be
for our European listeners. Uh-huh. When we say the word twice, it means it's a double emphasis. So when we say you're a parent, that means you birthed the child. When we say you got to be a parent,
that means you're an evolved.
That means you got to be in there. And we're gonna talk about what type of parent are you? What type of parent are you? Like Danny was saying, now, like you can take the stuff away. Are you that type of parent that takes stuff away? Are you the type of
Or are you one of those parents that give it to entertain them, right?
Like,
because you're just trying to, I let me just keep that child quiet, whatever it takes. Look, I'm trying
to. Just don't talk to me. Don't say nothing to me. I'm not worried about these kids right now. Get out of here. Let me get my life. And now everybody trying to be fine. Like we were talking about J-Lo last episode a little bit right there. Everybody want to be fine. 107. You got to have the abs and stuff. It's hard being a parent. That's why I said, I don't know if I was parents. I remember after you had kids, you was like, I give up my sexy. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say they give their sex, but you know what I'm saying? Like there was an emphasis on parent. Now you got great grandmamas in the club showing a little thigh, get in there. So I think now that may be some of the shift too of us kind of seeing ourselves in a different light. Before that, you could go and get a moo-moo. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now, ain't no moo-moos out there no more. So, now, all right, every episode, like we said, we like to laugh, learn, and love with Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Thank y'all for subscribing. You had a quick thing. Somebody sent you a message this week, right? You want to give a quick shout out?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, give a quick shout out. Man, send us a message. We appreciate y'all. Send us a message.
So shout out to April Jackson. So she said, because I had posted in my story, she was like, I can't wait to listen. I'm still stuck on the daddy issue episode. April, I feel you, honey, because that one was mine. And then she just talked about how she reached out to Solify Wellness, and also just thanks for the positive vibes and encouragement you and Jeff bring. So thank you, appreciate you,
Round
April.
Of applause,
yes.
April Jackson, support, love, everybody who listens and watches every week, man. Salute to y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all make this worth a long time. We'd be like, gotta get another recording. So those things mean a lot on the other end of it. That people are listening and it's beneficial for it. It make us smile a little bit. Show them teeth. 1, 2, 3. So thank y'all. Love y'all, man. We love y'all for real. So We like to laugh, learn, and love throughout every episode, so we try to break it down each time. Today, we're going to do a new segment. I don't know if we've done it before. It's called Closing Arguments. And this is something we talk about in barbershop.
Just should have been an attorney.
I really should have been an attorney. Yes, I really should have been an attorney. But I think in a previous life, I think I was so successful, and God gave me another chance. He's like, you know what, this time I'm going to give you a family, and you can do it, but you're going to still have your same debate, lawyery things in you. So now it's reading the green pill. I see you, Lord. Lord, how we going to raise these kids, Lord? You got to say it like that. Say it like that one time.
How we going to raise these kids?
No, you can't. You got to say it.
All right, so.
So closing arguments. Closing arguments. She's making a long one, SB.
No, I was gonna say name that theme song and see if you gonna think.
You had that beat. I was like, hold on, do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, close your ears, y'all. I'm gonna go down. Ice-T is shaking it.
So, are moms or dads more important in raising their kids? Convince the jury that you are the most important.
So, yes. So, I'm going to let you go first. So I want to close it out at this point. If that's okay, let us go first anyway. So,
basically, moms are definitely, because you just want me to choose a side. So, I would say that both are equally important.
You do what you want.
But I do believe, for the sake of this argument, so let me just put my disclaimer. This is just the laughing component. Both parents are equally important. We really need both. But anyway.
Somebody gonna at you.
So they don't want to at me. No.
Okay, I'm gonna be quiet. This is your turn to talk. I'm gonna be quiet.
So, but moms are very important because there are certain things. First of all, moms. If it wasn't for the mothers, none of us would be here. Okay, let's just put that out there. So, bam, there it is. That's that. If it wasn't for the mother, nobody would be. You wouldn't be here. The mothers have to give birth, and my thing is, we're nurturing, we're loving, we care, and we can be disciplinarians. We provide a healthy balance for children. It's not all one way or the other way. Well, for me, I can only speak for me as a mother. So yes. So
all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, jury. You've heard the defendants. I'm gonna come to you today, and I'm gonna apply to your logic.
With this foolishness,
I'm gonna apply to your logic, and just look around you, and you see any areas of problems and disarray, and I dare you to take a look deeper, and you'll see that the fathers are absent in those situations. So the question is, she raised a great point, saying that without the mothers, they wouldn't be here. And we want to applaud the mothers. I'm an ally for women. My mother is a woman. So I cannot deny the things that she said, but what the plaintiff left off is the fact that fathers are necessary. If you notice the way the Lord set it up, He is our Father. How many people dislike God? I'll wait. As you see, as you can tell that. And so the question that I was brought to is, who is more important in this family structure? And I think you know in your heart, even some ladies know, because you're a daddy's girl, aren't you? Yes. And some girls who, as April Jackson and Dana just said, the daddy issue is such a problem because of the huge load that a father brings upon every child that he bears. Was he able to have the God-given ability to carry that child? Unfortunately not. But that should not be used against him for the lack of importance of who he is. So are mothers necessary? Yes, they are. They bring us into this world. As I showed, I'm an ally with my mother being a woman. But who's more important? Who keeps the family together? I think we all know. Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor. Let us know. Let us know for real, because I'm super competitive. I want to know who won. If you were one of the 12 jury members, who would you say won these closing arguments on who is more important to the family structure? And as Dana said, for the people who get a little in their Fruit of the Looms every time you hear something on the internet. People wake up, let me see what I can be angry about today. And if that's you, I hope somebody hugs you very tightly and gives you a kiss on your jaw so you can see the world is not as angry as you mean it to be. And you look for social media pages that you can tell, girl, you better go over to such and such page. She got a bikini or she doing that. I wish you nothing but love so you can feel the energy that I feel because you're hateful.
Alrighty.
And your father would not approve.
And we're moving on.
Your father would not approve.
So, Jeffrey, what type of parent to style are you?
So,
we're going to get to the learn.
We're going to learn. Thank you. What type of parenting style am I? Mm-hmm. Or, so what, well, first, we don't know the parenting styles, okay. But we got to go through those. There are four parenting styles.
Yeah.
The Baumrind parenting styles from the 1960s. Diane Baumrind, shout out Diane Baumrind. Mm-hmm. She came up with 4 commonly referenced categories of parenting styles. Number 1 is authoritarian or disciplinarian.
That's probably most of our parents.
Yeah. Some of y'all don't.
No, what I'm saying is our generation.
Our generation, yeah. Authority. If you watch Good Times, if you know who
James Evans is a wrong. That's what we're going to do as we go through this parenting style. We're going to give. James Evans is the disciplinarian.
If you watch Good Times, all my European folks, I know some of y'all watch, so y'all tell me.
So James Evans. So basically, what he says is what goes. There's no in between. There's no black. There's no white. There's no gray area. It's black and white.
It is what it is. James came home. He got laid off every episode. He came home ready to whoop some tail. James wasn't playing. James said, if this need to be done, it need to be done right now. Right. So we got the James Evans, authoritarian or disciplinarian. Yeah. Number 2, permissive or indulgent.
So very much you just allow your child to whatever they want.
Yes. We need somebody who fits these categories.
Let me see. Who's gonna be a permissive from which TV show?
I'm trying to think of somebody that's a parent that does it like that.
It has to be one of the recent shows.
Yeah, because most of the old shows nobody. I don't think anybody has done this. This was a new category. This was the new parents. What? Not in my house. I brought you in this world. I take you out. What do you say? I brought you in this world. I take you out. Yeah. So that was the big push there of pushing that. I'm trying to think of somebody that would do it. That's a new parent.
Rainbow.
I was thinking about that.
Rainbow from Blackish.
Yeah, Blackish or Grownish too. So
Grownish, so Blackish or Grownish. So that would be Rainbow. Very permissive.
Like how it flows with the universe, flow the rainbows, the unicorns.
Namaste, whatever the child wants to do.
We need the child to be like.
You ask a lot for permission. So what do you want to do?
If I come into your room, is it okay if I go into your backpack? Is it okay if I see your phone? Is that, and you usually sound like that. They usually eat green bean casserole. Shout out to green bean casserole. Let's eat it. So
Jeffrey has an issue. My mama make a green bean casserole. But she's not a permissive parent.
I know, that's what I said. But
so uninvolved. So are you an uninvolved? Number 3, uninvolved parent.
Number 3 is uninvolved. Uninvolved meaning that you are just saying, hey, listen, it was a late night and your mama didn't get up in enough time and we just here with you. So listen, here's some Fruit Loops in the bowl, some Cheez-Its, and some water and some Kool-Aid jammers in the bag.
So pretty much, you may provide your child with technology to just go ahead because they probably get on your nerves, and you just like, look.
I don't know if you just like, just don't bother me.
Don't bother me, yeah.
Uninvolved in it. It's whether by you don't feel like it or you feel like that's the best means, or you just are just, I don't really care about what's going on. Just let it flow, which is different than the previous one, the rainbow one, the permissive one. Like those seem to care more.
Yeah, they care more, but they more asking. So asking for
permission. This is just like I'm not asking or telling or nothing.
You just like my hands are up and I'm good.
So summarizing those 3, we got the authoritarian, we got the she got that. Look at that. Got a choked up. She got scared. That's a good authoritarian parent. When you're not there in the room, you can still get scared of the police. Second is permissive. That's that rainbow one where you ask questions like Dan just said. Third is uninvolved. I'm hands off with that child. I had a parent when I was teaching came up. The boy I know because he used to come up with money all the time to the school, And she was like, listen, I got 3 other kids I got to deal with. He just be up there watching Dragon Ball Z. I was like, ma'am, he's not just watching Dragon Ball Z. He's doing something. Yes, he is. And she was just, did not want to hear nothing else. She's uninvolved. She feel like she got him past 14, and that's all she had to do.
So he was selling drugs?
Listen, I don't.
You don't know. You just knew he had a lot of money.
A lot of money. He was not working at a job. So
okay. At 14, because you can't work.
14, exactly. Legally.
And then authoritative. So they're authoritative. So this is pretty much, I don't know, when I read about this, I thought more so like the Bill Cosby, Claire Huxtable.
For sure.
Like, it's a balance. So it may be like, you know, so you definitely set your expectations. Your expectations are high. You set clear, concise expectations to your child.
Boundaries.
They may be high, but you set some boundaries.
You're gonna bring some A's home here.
Yeah, you're gonna bring some A's home, like, or you look at your child to see where they are, and you set it to them. So that's what I thought about that, because I thought about how, like, on the episode where Theo, you know, all the other kids were like A students, right? But when they got to Theo, he was like a BC student. So, you know, they set the expectations on, you know, like, still, like, you know, you can't go below this C, right? So we're not expecting for you to make an A like your sisters, but you need to at least bring home a C. You know what I'm saying? I kind of find out
what was his response too? He was like, what if I'm just a D or F student?
Yeah, they was like, no, that is unacceptable. Because kind of find out he was dyslexic and all of that stuff, but they gave him the help that he needed, and they kind of find out, but just for them doing that, like, he ended up going to, like, New York University and NYU and all of that stuff on the episode. So, you know, so it's kind of like, and I think for all of these, we know somebody in every category.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. You may be listening now to these 4: authoritarian, permissive, uninvolved, authoritative.
So there's 2. There's authoritarian
and authoritative. Somebody's like, hold on, that sounds pretty
so just keep this in mind. Authoritarian is like, this is it.
Joe Jackson style, baby.
This is Joe Jackson. This is Joe James Evans. And then the authoritative,
it's more like the Bill Cosby.
It's more like your Bill Cosby feeling. So we're just trying to provide you, because I know a lot of us watch these shows growing up.
So then you got a good reference.
It gives you a good reference. So you can see.
And so now thinking about, you're probably listening, you're probably thinking, which one of these am I?
So which one do you think you are, Jeffrey?
Okay, first, I'm going to, because I want to hear what you got, what you think. I want you to change it. You probably can change your answer on mine.
No, I'm
do the same thing for yours. To see what you think.
Well, I want to say this. I think one of the things about the document that I love, it says at one point in time or another, you probably have been one of the 4 at all of them. So, you know, so let's just be at one point in time, we all have been very, like, strict. Like, for me, it's kind of like,
hold on. You said everyone.
No. I said for some people, like, we have all been all 4 at one time, right?
For sure.
So when I think about disciplinarian, like, of course, if my child, you teach them, you don't run in the street, right? Because you don't want your child to get hurt, or you don't touch a hot stove, or you don't play with candles. Like, there's certain things that, as a disciplinarian, you don't want your child to do, right? So again, I've been there. For permissive, Jeff don't, like, I do ask, hey, what do you guys want to eat?
I'd be like, what?
I do. Like, I'm the type of mom, I go to like 3 restaurants because Jeff wants something, the kids want something, I want something different. So one thing is, but that's me, right? I've also been at a point, depending on what's going on with work, where I'm like, baby, you get on that iPad and just leave me on the ball. Okay. Yeah, so on the ball. So I've been there when it's been a long day at work, especially during the COVID pandemic, and I was still working, and they were coming home, they were bouncing off the wall, all of that stuff. Like, so I was uninvolved. And then, but the one that I'm the most probably is definitely authoritative. Okay, like, I do set clear expectations. I accept certain standards. Like, I do. Thanks. Like, my thing is, again, the kids know around here, you don't touch my walls. You don't jump in my couch. Like, and here are the consequences if you do these things. Like, they know, hey, you need to bring A's home. If you're struggling or whatnot, you have a dad that can help you. A dad that can help you. So, you understand?
Goes back to my point earlier about the close.
So, my thing is, so I feel like, and then another thing too, authoritative tend to be more nurturing. And it was so funny because Malia, y'all, since she's been gone for the whole, well, since July 12th or whatever, like she messages me nonstop. And it's always like, Mommy, I miss you. I love you.
She messaged me.
No, but come on, we can compare the messages.
I got receipts. Hold on. But this is not the point.
No,
I'll just show you.
So my thing is, so during this last month, she has sent me like 1,000 messages.
I got 1,000 too.
No, you don't.
Equally as much.
But, and then like even like Jace, like even with him, like it broke my heart when he like broke down. Was like, Mommy, I miss you, all of that stuff. So, but I'm a disciplinarian. What you say?
The weak link in
yeah. So, but I'm more authoritative because I set boundaries, I set the expectations, but I'm also like I'm engaging with them and everything. So, but like I said, I've been all of them at one point in time in the 7 to 8 years they've been on this earth. Okay. But I'm more so authoritative.
I am authoritarian. As you've seen some of my company videos and you follow me on social media too, one of them, the schools that I have here is called Mr. Joe Jackson Academy, and that's who I model after. And people saying, well, Joe Jackson was too hard on them, but you enjoying Michael Jackson's music right now. You love Janet. You love now 3 or 4 of the other ones you can kind of toss out, but that's not the point. What I'm saying is that structural consistency of what it is. So I do take that component out there, not to the extent of what Joe Jackson is, but I do like it.
He's not beating my kids, y'all, so let me go ahead and clear that up, because otherwise Jeff and I, let me tell you something.
What? Hold on. Finish your statement out here. What you trying to say?
So
I'm beating my half of the kids.
You remember that time when he went and he got the belt and stuff out the mic and was beating them kids? No, we ain't doing none of that now. Now I do believe. No, let me say this. Don't be at me talking about what you mean what is that? Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Spare the rod.
I said that. Spare the rod. Spare the rod. Spoil the child. So don't at me. Because my thing is, I do believe in discipline. I do believe if a child does something that's completely out of line, get spanked, whooping or whatever. But my thing is, I don't believe in beating children.
I think this is where I think typically there's a parent difference that comes in of the level of what it is. And I totally agree with what you're saying too. I agree, not like elbow smashing kids, but I think there is a point to, and maybe this comes from me working in education for a long time. I see the results of not having that disciplinarian structure that goes along with it. And then, like a lot of times, a lot of those kids are the more suspended, the more in-school suspension, the more of those because they feel like they want to do something else, but they're being told by an authority to do that. So the more that they can understand that you don't run the show, you need to get that down before. And I think that is something that I don't think we have that to an extent that I've seen for some other couples to where there's one person who wants the disciplinary side and there's another person there. And that's probably what we're going to get back with the comment side of like, well, I want to have structure because, and it comes out. I'll tell you when it comes out, when you're around other people and then, so you look at your child like, oh my goodness, I have not put my foot down at all in anything they've been doing for the last 3 weeks. And now around other people, and now I'm afraid that they're going to embarrass me. Yeah. And that's when it really comes out. And so you see that a lot of like, I'm afraid at that point. But I'm telling you, consistent. Because
my mama was, don't you go into the store and embarrass me. Like, it was clear. Don't you go into this store and embarrass me. So
I think some of those things, those conversations still happen, but the kids know, it's just like, I support schools. And one thing I see a lot of teachers that are successful, not successful, and like being able to have great management in classroom is they repeat themselves over and over and over with no consequence. So it's the same thing. So if you that parent, like we talked about, I don't know which one it is, 2, permissive, right? So the rainbow parent. If you're saying, if your child knows that, they just, like I've been in parent-teacher conferences where I'm like, the child has 74 F's, ma'am. 74 F's, they gonna fail this grade, they gonna do this thing. And the parent's like, I'm gonna get you when you get home. And the kid's like, I bet you are. And they'll do it right in front of us. And you can see the parent's face at that point in time. I can't believe you doing me like this. But it's because it's an outpouring of what has been allowed over an extended period of time. So I agree with that point. Just like you were saying there of I don't know. So that's more of a personal preference of, I guess, how you want to do it. There's no blueprint
Right.
All kids are different for the most part, but it's like that's one thing that I have seen consistently is if you say something, you need to be able to back it up. Some people say, "I'm putting you on punishment for 3 months," and it'd be 3 hours later, and they already offered the punishment. So the kids picked it up that mom or dad or whoever's not serious in those moments. So that's just one thing I would say, regardless of your style. I just think whatever you say, it needs to be clear. It needs to be something that you hold up, even if you are a softy on the inside.
Yeah, because I know that's for me. I know for me, it was hard. Jace got in trouble.
Jace is our son.
Jace is our son, but Jace got in trouble at school, and of course, and Jace, you have to know Jace. But Jace came home. He knew he was in trouble at school, and he had already started giving his own punishment. He was like, "I know I can't get my iPad for the week, and I know I can't watch TV for the week." Like, and I'm thinking to myself, well, heck, I mean, you doing my job for me because, you're not going to have your iPad for the week. You're not going to be able to watch TV for the week. And for me, it's hard because guess what? After 24 hours, they become back your loving, sweet child. You know what I'm saying? But you have to stick to it. So you have to stick to it. So although I would have loved to give him his iPad back after 24 hours, because of course, Jace is I call him my little Sour Patch Kid because, he can be sweet and then he can be, sour. That's who he is. And I love that about him. But at the end of the day, though, I had to hold on to him because, like I said, he already knew. He came home and he was like, and Malia was like, "So you gonna tell mama?" And so he was like, I know. He didn't even tell me what happened. He went ahead and started providing what his consequences were. And I thought that was unique because it made me realize, okay, darn, we're doing our job because it's like, I don't even have to tell you what your punishment are because you already know what it is.
Exactly. One thing, too, I know we're going to kind of talk about that, too. I like the point you're making there. And Jason's unique, and I don't know how many of your kids are doing that, too, coming in already saying that, or just trying to hide it, or don't say nothing about it. If I don't say anything about it.
But no, I don't think he was going to hide. I knew he was going to tell me, but I think he just wanted to go ahead and just, like, Jason's the type of person, he doesn't want to be told what his consequences are. Yeah. Although he wants to speak his own consequences. Yeah.
I can see that.
He get that from his dad. He does. He does. Like, you don't like people telling you.
If it's because that's the thing. A lot of times it doesn't have the logic behind. That's if you can talk to me in logic. Something you said. I can't think of what it was. And I was like, oh, that's logical. And I was like, cool. I didn't give any pushback or anything. I was like, you were like, oh, we can do this because of this. I was like, oh, I thought for a second. Oh, that makes sense. That's real. If it does not have logic.
So you're telling me I'm becoming more logical now?
On some things, yes. I think so. I'm honest with it. But going to what you said, though, the person who's a softy on the inside, and you know if it's, well, you might not know if it's you. You may be talking to a softy is going to give into it, but also to the flip side of it is the number one, the James Evans, like the super crucial person, doesn't have the conversation with the discipline side.
Yeah,
that's something.
That's the reason why the authoritative, the one that the last one, you want to give discipline, but you have to communicate why you're doing what you're doing, right? Yes. Because the authoritative, like for me, like, we just got whoopings.
That's
like,
what I was about.
We just got whoopings. Like, it wasn't told why. You should know why.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. I think one of the things is not saying that as authoritative you don't provide the consequences. You do, but you're communicating. Like, for example, if your child running the street, right, you need to get them. Sit down with them, tell them why, and then whatever the punishment is, like whether it's spanking, whatever it is, whatever your method is, because you need to communicate. Hey, if you go into the street, this is dangerous. Or if you touch that hot stove, this is dangerous. If you play with fire, this is dangerous. I never forget when we were growing up. I was like, I had to be like 9 or 10. It was with my Uncle Tyrone. He was a little bit. He was like we were about the same age anyway. But he was my uncle, and we were outside, and he was playing with matches and set the couch on fire at my grandfather's house. And
Is he still alive?
I never forget.
Did they kill him?
Papa came out there. He had that belt. My grandfather had the long, thick belt, like leather belt. And this, granddaddies used to buy real leather belts. They didn't buy they bought real leather belts because my grandfather
you can still smell the cow.
Yeah, because he was a tall, bigger guy, so he needed a real leather belt. So anyway, but I never forget, he had that. It was like he was like Zoro. Boy, he told Tyrone, if you listen to this, but it was so
PTSD. Tyrone still shaking. He won't say no more.
But I remember my mom was like, "Well, why you didn't get down?" And I was like, "What?"
You laughing? You
yeah.
Kiki? Okay.
So yeah, but that's just one of the things. But my grandfather was a disciplinarian. Like we wouldn't know community. He wasn't gonna sit down and tell you why you should be doing. You should know why you should be doing.
Yes, and there's the old school man was like that though. It was like, listen, my job is to
protect you, provide and protect.
I'm not to be no nourishment.
I'm not your friend.
I'm not nurturing and all those things. I see people. That's what we're gonna talk about this thing too. Is I see people saying, "Man, my child is my best friend," and I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe but if that's your best, Now,
I think you had this grown for. To be honest. To be like we keep our world, it's the same place for us to communicate, and you not to be triggered and turn this off. If you listen and you said that, this is not for you to trigger. This we to learn. You may have something. I'm open for debate all the time. At all times, I'm open for debate. I listen. I try my best. If I'm not, please tell me I'm not. But I feel like you need to have adult friends because I think the friend part is like us laughing, ha and kick in. But the last whooping Jace got here was when I told us like, hey, all right, you need to go ahead and get right on what I tell you to do because I had them reading books and stuff. He's like, I don't want to read no book. I was like, oh. So I'm going to tell you one more time to read the book. He didn't read the book. And then Malia, after Jace got a whooping, she was like, nah, I'm going to pay
it don't take much for Malia.
Yeah, look at me. I'm going to pay 72.
Yeah, that's Malia.
Give you a summary of what I just read. And it wasn't the fact of that. It's just the fact of I want you to not go off what you feel like you should do, but what you need to do. And it's the start of developing self-discipline.
It's important.
And many times we send kids off when they get 18, and we've done all the decision making for them. We've done all the thinking for them. We've done all those things, and we have not empowered them with self-discipline. Yeah. So one of the goals that I'm trying to think about for us is how do you empower self-discipline? The people who are successful, I mean, they may have degrees, but one of the major components for my success, I feel like, is self-discipline. Nobody being on my back and saying, you must do this, must do this.
Yeah.
You're doing what's best for you.
And that's one of the things about the authoritative. It's empowering. The children are typically more independent.
Yeah, you talk
like they able to articulate their thoughts. And the thing about it is you have to empower them and buy into their own goals as well, right? So you're not constantly, because one thing about the authoritarian, they almost like, they do as you say, like whatever you say, but you want children to think for themselves. Exactly. So that's the reason why it's so important that you do, like, I'm not saying like, don't discipline, definitely discipline them, but you also need to get them engaged, communicate, talk to them, set clear, concise expectations. And like, if this is what you don't do, and like you could buy into like, hey, well, what are your goals? But if this is something we agreed upon together, if it's not done, these are your consequences.
Yes. And for my people who are in mixed families where you have a child, like your spouse may have a child coming in, or your child may not live with you, and so now you have another person that's another part of the disciplinarian side. I was talking to my friend, and he was saying one of the struggles. Tino, shout out to Tino. Tino was telling me this. Tino Blackwell, Lindsay Blackwell. Hey, how y'all doing? One of the things he was saying was coming up was he had a different disciplinary style than the mother of his first child. And so having that was difficult because it's now we got to work on our situation because kids can play you against each other too as well. So it's like, even if you're not together with the other parent that you're with, it's huge. It's important for you to say, you know what? We may dislike each other completely, but we got this child that for the best of the child, let's come together and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. And then try to value each other's side of it so you can kind of get to that place. So if they're different than that, being able to do that side too.
So Jeffrey, what parenting style did our parents have, and how did it work for you? What was your parents?
My folks style.
Because I kind of have a thing. But
you got to think. I'm gonna tell you. Let me go back to them. My parents style. Well, my mom was authoritarian. Mama, you hearing this thing? You hear this thing? Hers was authoritarian to where she was like, I remember getting a whooping one time from. I didn't get many whoopings because I was good. I was a good child. I see laughing, but she didn't have those talk. She didn't experience that authoritative, the Bill Cosby one coming up. So hers was more in terms of like her mom had 10 kids, so it was her, and so she didn't have a lot of help. So like she felt she had to do that to be the mom and the dad. So we came from a single parent home, like. So for her experiencing it, even with now a husband in the situation, I think what we learn as kids carry on to us a lot if we're not cognitive of, okay, is this the most efficient way? Is there another way of doing it? And so I think it was just more of like, this is the way I learned it. I'm just going to do what I feel like is going to be the biggest thing. Now we have conversations now. And so a lot of times she was like, you know what? I didn't have to do all that holler really. I was like, you said you didn't have to do that. And much of it like stresses the parent out more than it does the kid in the sense. And so I think that was the thing. My dad was a little more passive to it. Like if mom instructed him to do it, then I think he would be more in place. But I think over time, now that I'm growing, I was like, now I've
so was Pops more permissive or?
That's a great question. I don't know if he like. I don't know if he was more. He was kind of a blend of like
all of them.
Yeah, maybe a blend a little bit. Like maybe with the Bill Cosby piece a little bit. So, but more in terms of like I want my relationship with mama to go well. So y'all ain't finna mess this up. So let me keep that going with this. So yeah. So I would probably say, what would you say for your parents?
Oh, my mother definitely was authoritarian, baby. She was definitely that with me. Now I think as Naja and Josh, Naja's my sister, Josh is my brother. Good job. So as Naja and Josh came along, I think she kind of like flipped over more so to the authoritative. So, but with me though, I didn't get to experience it now. But like now my mom was like one of my best friends. Like, so that's the reason why when people, so my mom, so that's the reason why for those who say my child's my best friend, I was not my mom's best friend when she was a single mom. But my mama
ain't one of your little friends.
But she that's what she said. I ain't one of your little friend. So I just want to say that like it's okay if your child, if you're not friends with your mom, because I feel like God has seasons for us, right?
Yeah.
So I believe as a parent, God has us where I think about in my relationship with Him. Like as a child, like He disciplined me, even as I continue to grow in this relationship with Him, He disciplined me, He chastised me when I'm wrong. But now as I started to develop more of a relationship with Him, like I'm able to console Him, like that's when He has become my, you know what I'm saying? Sure. You know what I'm saying? And I think the same thing with my mom. Like she was my disciplinarian. She made sure. I told you. She said we only had $1,000 a month. Her main thing was protecting me, providing for me, and make sure I had a meal. So all that other friend stuff, she ain't had time for that. So whereas now, like I talk to my mom every day, and so when we were on vacation, and so she was just like, "Dang," she said, "Yeah, I had to find somebody else to talk to last week." She was like, "I wonder when you was gonna come back," So because now she is one of my best friends. So again, parents, let me say this. It's okay. Your child is not gonna not like you if you're not their BFF now.
I think you kind of hit that on the root though. They thinking, and some parents can not stand to see their child cry or do something like that, and so they have to give into it. And it's probably the more mushy. And if both of y'all mushy, then both of y'all, what you need, baby? You need here go on PlayStation 6 and 19. Yeah. Here go on Apple, whatever. Yeah. And they just give because they hate to see the child cry or go through something or feel bad about something.
Because like Malia would tell you, she was like, "Oh, you're my best mommy," or "That's my best daddy." But Malia, who's your best friend? Callie's my best friend. You know what I'm saying? And she needs to have, and she say Malia and Jace, just her friend. You know what I'm saying? So she needs that, but she'll tell me, "Oh, I'm your best mommy." I love being the best mommy because my thing is because one thing too is. It becomes a fine line if the child does something. Well, that's, you know what I'm saying? They may think
it's harder to do
disciplinaries. We're both at those ages because they're confused. They don't understand.
Like, hold on. Now you're telling me I can't stay up to 3 a.m. and eat chocolate and go to the thing. He's like, nah, well, school's about to get started. Is it okay if you go to sleep now? Nah, I don't want to go to sleep, friend. I want to stay up and watch TV.
Because they're children. Their mind, their brains develop differently, all of that stuff. So for those who say their child is their best friend and you found a way to do it, I would love to hear from you. I commend you.
Jump in the comments.
Yeah, because I would love to hear how you able to make sure it's a balance, you know, and that sort of thing. Now, Gigi has definitely become more so permissive.
Oh, you think she had switched over?
She done completely switched over. Now, don't get me wrong. Malia and Jace, they better not get out of line. But the other day, they was upset because she told her, she was like, okay, y'all got to gradually get back up to your normal bedtime. So she was like, y'all gonna go to bed at 10. And so she was like, so after there was something with the Doricos or something like that. So she was like, after this go off, we gonna go to bed. And then they stared at, and she was like, fine, y'all do whatever y'all want to do. I was like, what?
No. Don't give it. Yeah, but that's.
But I guess for her, she said she done raised her kids.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too.
And that's what grandparents. That's
they
what
they give back to y'all. And say, y'all deal with that piece.
Yeah. So she was like, y'all just figure that out when they come back to y'all. I was like, so we gonna have to be the bad guys.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
What? Real quick. What sound did you used to make when you used to get a whooping? Let me hear you a sound that you used to make. You gonna make. Go ahead and make a sound. What sound y'all think she used to make when she used to get a whooping?
I used to just cry. I used to just cry. I mean, I can't cry now, but I used to just cry. I never forget the time my mama even threw a shoe at me.
Right. She went to
Gigi was not like, mama was not playing.
You think she'd throw one now? Think she could throw one? She lost her edge of the thing. Now that's what happened when you start living better. And money make you.
So what do you feel like? What is one of the pros of your parenting style?
One of the pros is I think it develops independent thinkers. I'm thinking of the long-term thing about how this can help them be independent. I can't be around them all the time. So regardless, whatever somebody else's child is doing, I want them to think, what is the consequence of this? How will this impact me, my family, and everything else around me? If they can do that and think through, not just the short-term, but the long-term thinking. And so every situation, whether good or bad, I'm trying to ask them questions, not just yes or no questions, but questions they have to think about and answer. And that's something that I think I developed later on in life, and I wanted to make sure that was there. Well, same thing for you. What do you think about the pros?
I would say that I think one of my pros is provide a balance. I want to engage, expose our kids to different things. Like I even gave my children a debit card. They done had this debit card for and it's through Greenlight, but it's like a debit card. And so because I wanted to teach them about fiscal responsibility and that sort of thing. But it was so funny because at the time I was giving them $50 a month, and Jeff came in and was like, what the heck? What are you talking about? So that's, but again, I learned from that.
You can put that in your part B. What does your partner need to tighten up as a parent?
So that was one of the things. Like I was giving the kids $50 a month.
$50?
And so, and then Jeff was like, what are you doing? We were doing the budget, and he was like, what are you doing? I was like, well, because, because what I was trying to do it was really to help them save as well. So this way, this is money. So when they go on vacations and trips and stuff like that, they don't come to me. They go So Jeff was like, no, we need to reduce that to $20 a month. So now we reduced it to $20 a month. But I compromised. We did the $20 a month or whatever. But my thing is, for me, I want to teach them for financial responsibility. Even today, Malia was like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm at the bank. And so she was like, what you do at the bank? And I was like, I had to make a deposit. And so she was asking me about, well, what does a deposit mean? And does that mean, so we was having this conversation about what this means. So it's like, there's certain things that I want to engage and communicate with my children, whereas when we were growing up, I was like, don't ask me, I can hear my mama what you mean, don't ask me, what you doing at the bank? I'm going to see a man about the dog, you know what I'm saying? We got those type of responses. So I like that. So that's one of the things. So tighten up though. I do probably give in more so to the children more than I should. I could be laying on the couch and Malia would come to me at 8:30, like, Mama, can you go to Sonic and go get me some ice cream? I would get up.
What the heck are you doing? What is going on
So
here?
I would get up and I would go to Sonic and get her some ice cream because, and this is the thing.
See,
this is the only thing because
listen
they are
for
only this
listen
age
closer for the
for
reason. This is the reason why.
Yeah, they're only this age for a certain time. But you know,
everybody's the only age for a certain time. Nobody's like,
I'm getting better
25
now
for a
because
long
I
time.
think the other day when Mama and them was here, she was like, "Hey, can you swim my son?" I was like, "Well, Malia, no, we will go to Sonic on this particular day, but I won't be able to go right now." So so I'm learning.
Thank you. That's what I was gonna say because we had to pick it for this thing. You picked the exact one. The way.
I'm being honest and transparent with myself.
We all are in this situation. That's good. Okay.
So, what do you feel like you need to tighten up?
I can most people don't think about this because when they see us, they be like, "Oh, since you're the comedian, Dana's the strict parent," like she was mentioning before. I don't know what it is. I think being in education I have PTSD from being in education.
Because even you were like that in the classroom though. Because I never forget when I went to your class and they was like,
"What'd you see?"
Then I saw a different Jeff. Like I did. Like I saw a completely different Jeff. It was like,
what's my smile? What's
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. It was like it was literally that. And I remember the kids like, he's so mean and da 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 da. And so even like engaging with some of your educator coworkers stuff, they was like, so like they even said they saw a different side of you being in the classroom as well as outside of the classroom.
Doing comedy. People you tell jokes.
Yeah. So
it's about. I didn't start off like that. Like when I first started, like when we first got married, and like a year or so after that, I started teaching. And I was trying to I was like, I was kind of green. I didn't understand the whole concept, and I learned from them.
With them kids.
And I learned, I was like, you can't be friends with these. These are savages.
They are savages. They would take you for your money. They were
ruthless savages. Yeah. So I learned quickly that was the way. And so I learned that kids, the ones that I was strict and I set those boundaries with, because I didn't always do that. Once I set those boundaries and whatnot, 2 kids would come up to me. They didn't like me at the time. They would come up and they would learn more. They would get more from the math that I was teaching. I was like, oh, and it kind of hit me like kids won't ask for it, but they need it.
They need discipline. They need discipline and they need structure.
Yes, exactly.
And they need guidance. Again, they need guidance and discipline and structure and like asking those thought-provoking questions. Because again, you want to build thinkers, right? You want to build leaders. But my thing is, you definitely need that. So, but one of the things you probably need to tighten up, you asked me, I would probably say, just be a little bit more nurturing with them.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew she was going to say that. And that's why I feel like I have to be this way, because like when I come through, one time I was coming back from comedy. It was like maybe 10 o'clock, right? So I'm coming in from comedy. and so I'm like, okay, the kids gonna be asleep. I'm gonna have a little time. I know I'm coming a little late. I want to have a little time. The kids are up and Dana's at that thing, full of slop. I'm like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? Your mom asleep? She's like, yeah, she's asleep. She told us to go and get to bed. I was like, she was knocked out that poor time. She probably had a long day. But it's just that, so I feel like I don't know if I could give the extra piece of nurturingism because they need that other part. So I'm like, wrap it up, get your tails in the thing, brush your teeth, get in the thing, get to. So I need to find a balance. I agree. I try to find a balance of the nurturing side. It's harder to do in those times. So I'll try my best.
You try.
Okay. So takeaway. Thank y'all. Episode. Lord, help us raise these kids. Lord. How we gonna raise these kids? Okay,
so let's talk about this before we go. So just so y'all know, Malia has messenger kids. And so messenger kids is, as a parent, you're able to prove who she's able to communicate with.
Oh, that's a good note.
So I just want to let you guys know that. So when people's like, well, does she got a phone? No, she don't have a phone. She has an iPad. And so, but I have access to all the controls and all of that stuff. Because again, I'm an authoritative parent. So I'm not a helicopter parent, but I need to see who my baby talking to. So anyway, but it tells you how many calls and messages and stuff and who she's been talking to and all of that stuff. And so it says Dana Wyndham Mr. 1,233 messages. Jeffrey Mr. 402. So
that's because I have to look at the calls. How many calls is it?
13.
Well, how many video things?
So it's the cause.
Oh, okay. She probably hit me on Thursday. Don't worry.
So,
we ain't gonna talk about
and that's within the last 30 days.
We're not here to talk numbers here. We're here to talk facts.
Yeah.
So, takeaway. All right, then, what did you learn from this episode today? Tell me something you learned today.
What did I learn today?
What are you taking away with you as we try to raise?
It's okay to tell your kids no.
Hello.
It's okay to tell your kids no.
It's more than okay.
Yeah.
It is the right thing.
It is the right thing to do.
Let's go. Let's practice
it. And I did read
Everybody
this even before this episode because I would try my best to read on how to be a better wife, a better mother. And so one of the things that it did state for telling children no is because if you don't tell them no, when they get older, they're going to expect for everything to just come naturally to them.
Hello.
Or just come to them. And you don't want that. So it's good. It builds character to tell them no. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I love that. Listen, that's it been, I didn't even have to read that. That's indoctrinated.
Yeah.
I feel that on that part.
Yeah.
No. Some of y'all need to practice right now. Before you get in front of them little two jokers, they start crying, and you get back into the whole thing, you trying to get the next game system, the next phone, the next thing that they don't even need anyway. I want you to practice on it. On 3, everybody say no, whether you watch or listen, on 3. All right? 1, 2, 3. No.
Why you sound like
you see,
that?
you got to come from your...
You remember when Jace asked for a PS5 last year?
Boys...
This year he asked for a G-Wagon. I said, a what?
I said, boy, you gonna go out here and get one of the red wagons by the G on it?
I told him, if he don't get up that YouTube.
But listen, I told you can make all this.
Because we took the main YouTube off the kids page, and we only had kids YouTube.
Listen, I just said, y'all
because, like, seriously, YouTube, like, I love YouTube, but YouTube could it's not for kids. So we took away YouTube and then kids YouTube. So like, my thing is, again, it goes back to, you want to make sure they're children. You want them to keep that innocence, and all of that stuff. So, and
they're not going nowhere. They need you. They need you. Free rent, free groceries, whatever.
Yeah, and they need food.
They'll be back to you. They think that it's going to do right there. So, last thing here, the love portion is 9 things your kids really need. 9 things your kids really need. 1, love them intentionally. Yes. Love them intentionally, on purpose. On purpose. Not through things, just love them intentionally.
Number 2, be present and pay attention.
Yes. That's hard because when it's easier, some people just rather write their check or get them a Jordans or buy shoes or a video game.
Or give them the iPad. Take that iPad and the phone away.
And talk to them. Play Uno. Do a little game or something with them. Number 3, support them no matter their choices. It can be...
They can be choices.
Yeah, it can be hard because we have expectations of what you want their choices to be, but support them no matter their choices. And it can be with discipline, but you still follow up with a hug and love and say, hey, I did
Because I remember Jace has gone through all the stages where he wanted to be, I'm like, oh, Jace, you want to be a doctor? No. This is when he was 3. No, I want to be a garbage man truck. He went, so, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I'll never forget when he was at my mom's house, they let him go in the truck and all of that stuff. Now he wants to be a basketball player.
I just let it.
But he's 7. It's going to change 50 million times.
I was still changing.
Yeah.
4, say no and give them borders. We just talked about that. Draw it out. Some of y'all need to have borders for yourself. Say no, get them borders. Some of y'all don't like borders for your own finances, for your own life. Hello, am I coming on your street?
Yeah.
So
number 5, let them live their purpose.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And so, but it's helping them see their purpose. Not your purpose. Not you putting them in pageants because you always want to be in pageants, so you want them to be in all the pageants, so you want to be in the dance. Like getting what they're talented and they're gifted in and what their purpose is. Go in there. Number 6, discipline them. Hello. See no other than just go to my post. You can see that.
Number 7, give them one-on-one time. That's important.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if that's been something that
you haven't been able to do that yet, have you?
Yeah, I've been able to.
No, it's about just like Malia and then with Jace.
Yeah, I think a little bit. Like in terms of like this is what would happen. Malia will come up, we'll watch a movie together, and then Jace will come in and be like, "Oh, y'all watching the movie without me?" And then it'll become Let's see. 8 is give them independence. Listen, I'm a stamp member of that piece because I don't want them to. It's cool, like. some people like to be needed in that situation, but I'm always thinking, I don't always want you to be around me like that. I want you to have a little independence yourself. So when you go places and the kids ain't just sitting around you all the time, you want them to be able to hang out with other kids and stuff like that too.
And number 9, embrace and love their uniqueness.
Embrace and love their uniqueness. The little two-tooth joker. Look at your little two crooked teeth in your mouth. I love how unique they are. But loving who they are, not expecting them to be you or who you are and who they are themselves and be to that place.
You miss the kids? They've been gone for like 3 or 4 weeks. You miss them?
Sometimes. I miss them sometimes. Sometimes, like, I'm a mathematical thinker. I'm always thinking there are 12 months out of the year, so these few weeks, like, I may miss them right here, but I'm going to have plenty more, and this won't even be part of the narrative. When we were coming off from Los Cabos, from the anniversary trip, and when we was coming there, I was like, you know what? I think I may call my mom and tell her we can meet up and get those kids some money. I was like, and I knew I was flying out for Tuesday going to work and doing this. So I was like, well, good luck on that. Let me know how that turned out for you. Because I'm thinking it's just a few more days, but we won't get these few more days after these few more days are over with. So to me, the mathematical mind is always thinking, and I don't know when I got this, it's just something that's ingrained in me. It's like, this is a short time. I may miss them right now, but I'm going to get plenty more of them where I may miss the time that I would be able to miss them. So the times you're able to miss them, and you can do the vacation, not the trip. The trip is good, but the vacation or just something with your boo thing. That's why I said with that, to me, I value that as well as value time with the kids. So they got their independence. That's what y'all just told me in the little list. They got their independence, they had them time, and they miss you more too. So when you discipline them, they can still go back. Because it was like, Malia was like, yeah, I miss you. I said, I miss your little buttercups and all that stuff. But I see you when I see you. When the time get there.
So the Mr. Mantra.
Yeah, the Mr. Mantra. So argue through any episode, you had whatever, y'all disagreeing or whatever. If you're not together, you don't have to do this part. You may just look at yourself. But if you are together with your spouse and y'all trying to raise these kids, you saying, how are we going to raise these kids, Lord? Look at each other in the eyes and say these 3 things. I like you, I love you, and I want you. Get a little kiss. Mwah. All right, your lip is back down. Y'all saw a lip last week. I saw y'all saying, ooh, you got a little buttercup lip on it. Little raccoon lip. Come, look at the Lord. Y'all prayers have been availing much. All right, so listen, we thank y'all. Tell somebody else about this podcast, man. We love y'all. God love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. All right? Mwah.